Okay, this meeting will come to order. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Conservation Commission meeting, November 20th, 7 p.m. or thereafter. We'll roll call out commissioners. Kevin, we'll start with you.
Here.
Jerry
here.
Dennis here.
Chris Pratt.
Norm Cheever here. Andy Reardon.
Welcome all. Okay.
Cliff Clark is asking if he can record.
Yes, you can, Cliff. No problem. Okay, and do we have anyone in the audience who would like to speak tonight? Or
Are you recording?
I think so.
Matt, Cliff?
Yeah, I'm funny.
Okay. Anybody online who would like to speak tonight? Comments? Okay, we will move on. We had two public hearings tonight. Both of them are asking for continuance. We'll start with 81 Point Road. Proposed project was removal of the beaver dam. Lodge, yes, sorry. Thank you very much for correcting that, Dennis. Big difference. So I'll take a motion on the continuance for, was it December 4th, continue to, day after? Take a motion on continuance to December 4th.
So move.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Dennis, I.
Kevin. Aye.
Jerry?
Aye. Andy, aye.
Chris Pratt, aye. It's unanimous. We will continue that. We also have, oops,
Yeah.
do we have to wait till 7:10? We'll go through,
Meeting minutes.
we'll do the minutes, yes.
Oh, the continuation requests are there.
Sign them.
I don't think we have to sign them. It's just FYI.
All right. Review the minutes now of November 6th. Okay, does anybody see any, amendments or corrections?
It's on 21 Noble Steed. I don't recall Mrs. Ayat speaking for the Noble Steed property.
No, that was Ms. Rossini, I think.
Mrs. Mazzini and her daughter are the only ones that I remember
Correct.
addressing that, but Ayat's referred to twice here.
Mm-hmm,
I think that's just a typo.
yeah, probably, since it was in the,
And
one of the other,
replace Mrs. Ayat with
Yeah.
Mrs. Mazzini.
yeah, cause it went from 142
Three places.
Berkshire.
Three places there.
Yeah, it was in the meeting previous to that. So I guess the name carried over.
The Girl Scout troop project, that didn't in any way involve trash receptacles to my recollection. She just wants to do recycling.
Correct.
Like, I think like the third sentence in there, it says to retain trash receptacles. So I guess that would be recycling receptacles.
Called the recycling project. Another picky thing I found up on the top of page 5, between weighing and 250 pounds, there's no space. Needs to be a little space,
Okay.
but for the meeting as long as it was, I think nicely done. Yeah. Take a motion if anybody is ready, or if anybody's want to make any more comments or corrections.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
I'll second that. Yep, if we'll go with Kevin. For the second, Jerry?
Aye.
Chris Pratt, aye?
Mark Cheever, aye. Andy, aye.
Okay, unanimous. Okay, 7:10, we have a request for continuance of 662A College Highway. Both project was a two-way access drive and a wetland crossing, an underfoot buffer zone.
Okay.
Take a motion on the acceptance of the continuance for that. A second. I'll second. I can do that. And all in favor, Andy? Abstain?
Dennis, I.
Jerry, aye. Kevin, aye.
Okay. Unanimous, almost, one abstention.
In the record.
Andy Reardon. On to some new business, we have request for a certificate of compliance for 11 North Pond Road.
I think I do. Just go into my top secret file right here.
So I did the site review last Friday. Sabrina had COVID, so she couldn't go. First of all, the work was done, looks exceptional.
Right.
They did a good job. But there are some issues that I noted. For instance, the revised plan that they had submitted to us called for 13 arborvitaes, and there were only 12. But there were many more flowering plants than was on the original plan that we approved. So, number of trees saved seemed to be greater than the 6 that was on the sketch, which was good. Number of stumps to be saved was 7. There were more than that saved. There were more than 10. So that was good. The shed is slightly smaller than the one that was on the plan. and it was rotated 90 degrees. And that was to prevent further or taking further dirt out of the hill,
Mhm.
okay? The wall configuration is different than was on the plan, and I'm gonna,
Is it this wall that I'm pointing to?
there's two walls there. There's the
This
front
one, and
wall,
this one?
which is, with the 24 inch, and then there's the taller one in the back. And I'm gonna let the homeowner explain why that was changed.
That's not, lots of pathway. This wall right here? Bottom right?
Yes, that wall there.
No, that's,
The first one was changed?
no, that's the original norm.
I'm sorry, you
The
have
one
to
by the
identify
Yeah, yep,
yourself.
Daryl, you could just say your name, your address, you can come on right up to the front. Just for the record.
Carol Philo, 11 North Pond Road. So, yeah, originally the plan was just the wall in the back. It was a two-tiered wall like Norm said.
Yeah.
The problem was when we originally put the plan together, the 100-year floodplain datum was 227 feet on the plan. Mass DEP caught it and said it was in error. So we fixed it. And unfortunately, it drove everything up in the air another 2 feet and further back. So it created a problem for us. So we ended up with a ski slope down at the waterfront area. So we came back to the commission and we didn't end up in front of the commission, but by emails, there were exchanges back and forth, said we could go ahead and put in a second wall as long as we didn't encroach on the 229-foot 100-year floodplain. So that's essentially what we did to.
It's pretty neat, I think.
Hmm?
Those emails, was that with you?
Yeah, I think maybe we should just wait till like the summer and go out there and take a look at it on a real nice day and we
I
can.
know where you're going with this.
Make sure it works correctly.
I noticed you're not asking for your bond money back.
No, it would be the bond money as
so,
well, when they do a
Part of the
certificate.
certificate of
I would think
It
completion.
so.
doesn't say and release of,
Do we have to do a release of fund
I think
on
that'd
the,
be part of the vote,
Yeah, I
yeah.
was hoping not to donate it.
Hopefully not.
does that need to be on the agenda for a future?
I don't think so, I think.
No,
Okay, okay.
We can
Just-
assume for tonight for sure. No.
So the cart path down appears to be pretty much to the drawing. Can you get that picture
This
there?
one?
There's the cart path. And then the stairs seem to be pretty much to the picture.
Nice.
So they look great. Now, after I took the pictures and got home and I went back and looked at them again, and I said, now, where did all that sand come from that's on the beach? And I wasn't sure, did you bring sand in there or was that already there?
No, it was there.
It was there,
That's what's underneath.
okay.
Yeah, the shoreline, like under our properties, all sand.
Yeah.
All sand.
So no sand was brought in and no sand was put in the lake. Good.
So you're done with this project?
We're hoping to declare victory, Dennis.
How many years?
Good
It's been
start.
that long, right? Couple
About
years?
2.5, I think.
Yeah.
COVID and supply chain issues. Yeah,
It looks like it was worth waiting for. It looks-
Yeah,
it looks
yeah,
like
it
nice.
came out really good.
Nice.
Hats off to Wyben Construction. They did a great job. Great stewards of the lake.
Good.
Okay, so it looks like the plantings are pretty decent, even a little bit maybe better than what we expected. Amount of trees removed, a little
Yeah.
bit better than we expected. The wall was corrected to bring it out of the floodplain more. But I think we're looking decent from my end. I mean, anybody have any concerns or take a motion on it?
I'll make a
Certificate of compliance.
motion to issue a certificate of compliance and release of the $10,000 bond.
Thank you, Kevin.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor, Andy?
Aye.
Chris Pratt, aye?
Dennis, I.
Jerry, I.
All right. You are
Thank
good
you.
to go.
Appreciate it very much.
Thank you very
Yay.
much.
Beach is open just in time.
Just in time for ice skate.
There you go, yeah,
This
exactly.
is the certificate of compliance. I just did it early.
Look at you, ready to go.
I'm trying.
Wow.
She had a prediction. And we'll pass that paper around to get signed, and then we'll move on. Huh?
We
Uh,
would make copies and stuff.
Yeah.
Daryl,
Yeah.
you wanna wait? We can give that to you right now. We can make copies and you can be all set.
Sure.
You just hang on in just a minute.
Thank you.
Sure.
Mhm.
Thank you, June. That's a nice suggestion.
That's nice.
It is.
I'm getting a copy of this. I'm gonna give you the original, but you're gonna sign a copy. That's saying you picked it up. Okay.
I still need the letter for the $10,000 bond. Oops, let me try.
50/50.
I wonder if she can whip that up.
Okay, go on. We have an erosion control monitor nominated for the 112 Berkshire Ave and One Pine Road.
Yep, good.
Good with that?
Yeah, James Davenport has nominated himself for erosion control monitor. And he's also nominated a Mr. Brian Glenn,
Yeah.
to be the alternate. And that he is the contractor, I believe.
Mhm.
So
Okay,
we need a vote, I think, to accept that. Right? A vote to accept the,
I'll make a motion to accept
I'll
the.
second that. Kevin?
Kevin, I.
Jerry, I.
Oh, my.
Maybe I.
Yeah, we're good. And we have discussion North Pond Conservation Area removal of trees and habitat rehabilitation. Actually, old business, because, oh, 28 Noble Street. See, I get ahead of myself, the check marks.
I know, right? I'm like, you just don't like
I
it.
know.
'Cause we skipped over it in the last one as well. Let me just.
28 Noble Street Crossing Buffer Zone Mitigation Update.
Yes, an update. So, earlier this year, we had, buffer alteration at 28 Noble Steed. And I'm just gonna bring up what we saw via aerials.
Mm-hmm,
And actually, while I do this, I gotta just remember to share the screen.
yes.
Sharing. So people can see. Yeah. Okay. Get rid of. What's happening? And here we go. I don't need to restore new pages. So let's just look at 2021. So this is the lot right here. This is 2021, so it's relatively vegetated.
Mm-hmm,
And then we look at our most recent, I think this is earlier this year, 2023, and there's some buffer. So the resource area, sorry, is right in this area right here. So there's been some buffer alteration. And we had the owner and our contractor, Dwight Scott, come in and they did a mitigation plan. And I can bring up that mitigation plan in a moment. The same plan. So right here is the 100-foot buffer, and then these are the plantings. He said white pine sampling, but I believe it was blue spruce that they planted.
okay.
So, Mr. Dwight called me up and said, hey, we did it. We want you to come have a look and see what you think. So just another image. This was a site visit back in March. This is the silt fence that was put in somewhat incorrectly. We had them fix it afterwards, but to the right of the picture right here where Mouses, that is the buffer, and then to the left is outside of the buffer. And so we're just having a look at what's going on there. And let's see. Just look at all of them. So here he's got some plantings outside of the buffer, some grass is growing. This was back October 30th of this year. Some natural vegetation has already started to grow, and within this area, he's also planted some blue spruce, I think button bush and blueberry, but it could be wrong, but there are plantings.
So low growing.
Yeah, yep. Here's a nice view of it. Looking like some, oh, here's an area that was somewhat problematic. The infiltrations for the gutters weren't installed, and it was washing away the
Topsoil.
topsoil, exactly. So Randy Brown contacted them and they're going to install that. So hopefully that's done by now, and hopefully all of this is already stabilized. This is an image of some sediment that has actually gone through or under the silt fence that was installed. And we were just talking about that right here.
Mhm.
So I just said, you know, just fix the silt fence and make sure everything is stabilized and it should be okay. I think we can see some plantings somewhere in here. There's, oh, you can kind of see an orange.
How deep is that sediment?
I don't know.
Couple inches, or
Maybe?
those stuff growing through it?
Well, I mean, I didn't really make a note of that, to be honest.
Well, I'm just saying it would be more damage to remove the sediment than to leave it there and let it grow.
Yeah, I don't think that sediment really should be removed. I think once things start growing and
Right.
as long as no more of it is coming into the
Yeah,
buffer, then it should be fine. Sorry, this is angled a bit. For some reason, there is some exposed soil right here. I don't know why. Here's some gullying, but hopefully that's
So
done.
the roof drains also?
Yeah, I think so, actually. Here was an area that I told him to fix. There was some sediment sort of getting under here. Here's actually a pin that we asked him to put in, or he said that he would put in. That's where the wetland buffer starts for the 100. And he said, I've seen this pin before. How about we put it in? We're like, sure.
Does it say something on there?
It does. I think I have a better picture of it right here. It says
Bordering vegetation, wetland line.
yep. So it should stay in there. And that's about that. That's an update.
Looks good.
Yeah. The owner was supposed to be here during our last meeting, but they never showed and we accidentally skipped over it. So I just figured it's just,
Good job.
Excellent.
yeah, thanks.
Very good.
Okey-dokey.
Okay, now on to discuss
Now.
North Pond Conservation Area, removal of trees and habitat rehabilitation.
Yeah, so actually last week or the week prior, I had a lovely conversation with Liz and Jen from Mass Fisheries and Wildlife. And basically it was our yearly update for our CR. And if I can find my notes, I will tell you the good, the bad, and other
It's in our
things.
notes.
Actually, I forgot to make a copy.
That's not in it.
But Liz is going to write up like something official. And I mean, I can send this off to I think I
those
did
your
send,
notes or their
these are
notes?
my notes and I
Okay.
did send them off to Elise.
I saw them, yeah, I read
Okay.
them.
And then I can send these off again if I haven't. And then once we get something from Liz, she said within the next couple of weeks, we should get something from her official. And I can send it off for everyone to look at. So some good things. She was impressed with our fencing over in the parking lot area. She said that's good to help to control the amount of visitors on the property per like one time. She liked how we had the removal of some unnecessary signage. For example, we still had some stay 6 feet away, tacked up onto some
Dennis
of the
put them
trees.
there. Mhm.
Well, I don't know who took them off, to be honest. Maybe just someone who really wanted to
Dennis
sign,
and
but
I
that,
put them there.
that was good for us. Someone took them down. Did you take them down?
Maybe it was the same guy that took the other signs.
Maybe it was, yeah, because we're missing, at least one of our good new signs. And speaking of signs, we put up some new signs to identify the property rules, and those are scattered throughout the property, including along the shoreline. Southwick police reports have been basically sent to Jen, who's our sort of like our steward. And this has actually helped them sort of crack down on the ATV usage. Because some people go, actually the same people, go onto their wildlife management property.
Right.
And then like, you know, I don't know, police officer will be there and then they'll go onto our property. So Southwick Police and the environmental police kind of like work together to sort of get at least one of the ATV peoples. Yeah, so that was some of the good things. Some of the bad things, obviously ATV use. She said that's our number one problem that she saw. She also mentioned that the shoreline has been cleaned up, meaning like leaves have been raked into piles. And she said that's against our CR. Some of the piles of leaves are smothering the shrubs, which doesn't allow, and also the cleaning up of leaves doesn't allow for the buildup of organic matter along the shore. If left untouched, that organic matter would help aid the revegetation of the shoreline. There are some concerns about the overuse of the shoreline in the summertime, which inhibits the revegetation, again, along the shoreline. I asked how we can reduce activity along the shoreline, and she said possibly the installation of timbers right along the shoreline. And it was also noted that, yeah, this wasn't the number one issue on the property. So
Okay.
I say, let's just keep going after the ATVers before we worry about the shoreline. She did mention that picnics, swim floaties, lawn chairs, barbecues, they are not consistent with our conservation restriction, and doesn't align with the intended use of the property. Other things I had noted that, it was noted that sand along the shoreline was not native and, it was brought in like maybe in the 1950s.
Well, I mean, some of it's native. Wasn't all brought in.
Right. Well, a lot of it was, so she said over decades, this will dissipate, and then once that happens, it won't be so appealing for visitors on the property. Mass Wildlife is completely supportive of removing any hazardous trees on the property, including the ones in question on the shoreline. And if we need a letter stating this, they will provide one. And I had mentioned my concerns of the amount of erosion from foot traffic over by the rope swings and the trees. And they said they will check on that during the next visit because they didn't actually go over there to see the problem. So key takeaway is Southwick, we are making progress with the property and being in compliance with our CR. One thing I did want to show you was the erosion that I have a concern about over by the rope swing and the trees that people like to jump. Actually, let's just look at the video that I took over the summer of people jumping. So that's about 20 feet from the tree into the water, and then it's about 4 feet that they're jumping into. And then here's the other little tree over here that they're jumping off of. So some of the erosion, this is obviously from the foot traffic. It looks like they're trying to like cut in over into the side to make sort of like a stairway to climb back up onto the hill. This just shows like the drop off.
Yeah, it's very steep right there.
It is very steep. Just another view, and also showing that the wood's been tacked onto trees to help them climb up the trees. Maybe next year we should be more active with removing that on a weekly basis. Here is the erosion, and because of the heavy rainstorms that we had over the past summer, it's starting to actually, the sediment starting to go into the water right there. Another view. And from the water side, and there's an undercut of about a foot underneath some of these trees. So cute habitat. I saw a frog under there when I was taking pictures. But that's my update on that. I know we had talked about removing the trees. There was talk about doing an emergency certification over the summer because at the time the property was being actively used and it was technically kind of an emergency. We didn't want anyone to get hurt. Since then, no one's really using the property right now to jump off of trees into water. So we have time to think about what we want to do. If we do indeed want to remove the trees, if we want to somehow block out the area using treetops, pricker bushes or whatnot. Open for discussion for you guys. I'll do,
Okay, we can think
Whenever you
about that and we'll discuss it at a later time
okay.
and formulate some ideas.
Come up with some kind of plan, yeah, that we could, put in front of everybody.
Yeah,
Mhm.
all right.
Mhm.
Some way to get, funding for that plan.
Well, I don't know if that would fall under the,
CPC, I mean,
CPC.
yeah, I think it should.
or even under the trails grant you got. I don't know if that.
Yeah, the trail grant that I tried for 2 years ago.
But we did CPC funding for the trails grant.
Oh, that, we still have that money from that.
But it's
Yep.
for trails.
Yeah, well,
That's why
There's
we were
still money
like,
available, so
We can,
we could divert that, and
well, we can't divert it from trails, but we can maybe make,
part of it was for the erosion, part of it was
Yeah.
written in
yeah,
for erosion.
we'll have to look at that and see what
okay,
it entails.
that's, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, that was a good chunk of that was for erosion.
Okay,
Yeah, because especially at where they,
Forgot all about
where
that.
the ATVs go up the hill by the, by the beach area. I
yes,
know that was a big part of it.
yes, yeah, and
So-
that's still an issue. Yeah.
That's for the whole property, not just for that part.
Mm-hmm.
So can look into
Do
that.
you think we need to hire somebody to come up with a plan for stabilization? We probably use money out of the CPC to. hire
Yeah,
somebody to
I
do
mean, that would be probably. Cause I don't have a lot of time,
that. Well, plus if
nor am I a professional at that,
Yeah.
so,
we do that for a living, we
Right.
could get them to
Oh,
come up, ask them to do it, not pro bono, but as close to that as
show
possible.
the state that we're making,
yeah, exactly, yeah.
concerted effort to comply with the, restriction. So,
And
Right.
cutting the trees down could be part of the RDA.
well, that
whatever
could be
you
good or
call it.
that could be bad. We'll see what they say. I mean,
For the
maybe
erosion.
living, yeah,
Mm-hmm,
Put that in the plan, yeah, if
so,
it works.
all right,
mm-hmm.
we'll move on to Norm, after plan by,
Or it'll go in the water by itself.
well, sometimes they do.
It looks like it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Can you do screen share for me?
Yes, I think all I have to do is just unpick stuff. Can you try it?
Most disabled participant screen sharing.
What?
You used to be able to, but now you can't. Okay, this is our master plan advisory committee updates.
I can make you a co-host. Would that do anything?
No?
Do you
Well,
wanna
click yes.
make sure, or yes?
Yes.
Are we positive? We
Why
wanna,
not? It's not gonna hurt anything.
Ah, there it
now
worked.
can you share?
That worked. Just gonna pick the right thing here.
Huh, I wonder why I toggled that, because usually everyone can share, especially for presenters.
Mhm.
I gotta make sure.
there you go.
That's not the one I want. No?
I was like, that's my email. It's not, it's just all the emails I sent today.
Come on, come back. No, I can't get that, find screen share again.
Well, you're still sharing, we can see your email,
Okay,
so it's just the screen that's selected.
You have to click on that screen, just like that screen now.
okay. Stop share, go back. Share.
Yeah.
You guys read all of our homework that we have to do for the next 20 years?
Okay.
Keep us busy.
Yeah.
Okay, this last meeting, I had handed out the 10 lead action items we had. And I asked you to prioritize those. I got all the responses. Due to my fault, I had one incorrect email address. I didn't get the last response until this evening, so I didn't have a chance to plan this out. But I now have them prioritized based upon our inputs, where the number one overall priority was setting is establishment of the permanent open space committee, okay? And I'll send this out to you, and I'm gonna ask you to think about which of these you might want to work on. Okay, for instance, I'm very interested in developing the brochure down here for number 5, to promote current areas of open space in town and update accordingly. And there's another brochure about the waterfront at Congamon Lake that I'm also very interested in.
But just to let you know, Dennis and I already kind of have a pamphlet for the open space area.
Yeah, good.
It's online and everything. You have a QR code for it,
Okay.
so we can update that when we need to, or
So number 1 was open space, what was number 2?
Number 2 is continue acquisition and promotion of the wildlife corridor spanning southward borders with Granby, Connecticut, Granville, Mass, and Westville, Mass. Hold annual meetings with landowners along the corridor and to proactively engage them in regarding conservation options and land maintenance options. And number 3 was encourage the establishment of an environmental club at the high school to additionally educate and engage on agriculture, conservation, and sustainable practices. So the rest I'll send them out. You can read the others.
That's perfect, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, Norm.
Okay? So we can stop that share, and now I got the next share.
Where?
yeah, QR code for us on the table.
Base.
Oh. I don't know.
ArcGIS story map, I have a story map.
What thing was that program? Was that 15? I think it was 15,000.
You're down to 14. Wait, actually, I actually might have it with me. That's at a PP, based on restoration, with the regions. Okay, no, I don't have it with me. It's like 14,000 something, cause all that was taken out was. I think we took the signs out. So, but that was like 300 or something, and then it was the kiosk. And that was it. So, yeah, we need to use it.
1,400, 50,000 gets a distance.
Yeah, and we need to use it because
Yeah.
it's been like, what, over 3 years?
Yeah,
We need to,
that's
needs to be
too
done.
much.
Yeah. So I wasn't sure because I thought it was
Technical
just,
difficulties happen.
I thought it was just for,
They forget the owl
Trails.
board.
Like 30,000 just for the erosion control,
Mhm.
for the big grant. So this was part of a big grant that
You wanna
for the trail,
move on to the LPP?
Oh,
CPC,
That's
so
what I'm
if
trying
you
to
don't
get
get the
to.
trail
Yeah.
grant. Take this anyway.
right, right. Yeah, I think I remember that.
Oh, baby, oh,
Is. I might be able to apply for the trails grant. Is that the one that's up in February?
$14,001.
Is that it?
1 cents.
no, it's
Not showing,
not showing.
but that's what you wanna show.
That's what I want to show.
You want us to move on until you can show it, and we'll
Move on.
move back to you.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on while Norm's trying to get that to Premier on the meeting,
Do you want me to do it, Lauren? Or mine?
the LPP, can you do the LPP? Do you have that one?
I don't have it.
No. So we're gonna go on to old business, possible wetland violation of 579 Forest Road, Suffield, and no update? None
Yeah,
update.
I just wrote out the letter and it'll be sent out tomorrow, the letter that you guys requested.
Okay.
Send,
Hmm.
so there's that.
And the request for plan alteration for 157 Feeding Hills Road,
No updates on that.
okay. And possible wetland violation 31 Sam West Road,
So I have got no updates from that. Ryan last minute had asked for continuation on this.
okay,
I'm not sure if you want, I did write up a draft. I showed it to you.
Yeah.
For the enforcement order. I'm not sure.
So
if
all you
anyone
need is
wants-
the square footage and fill it in,
Yeah.
and
yeah, that's what I
that's,
said.
that's good to go,
There's
except
all-
for the dates, you gotta.
I want you guys to tell me what the dates are. Show me what the timeline is and then I can finish it and then send it off.
Yeah,
I'm not,
All right,
well, the reason it's called friendly is because we want to be reasonable with the
Right.
dates, give them enough time.
yeah. But we want it to actually happen instead of having a fight over it,
mhm,
like that with Noble Street,
So,
so.
I'm not sure if one of you wants.
So does this need to come back to, it needs to come back to the next meeting, right, when it get all that information to get approved
Mhm.
by the commission?
So we'll have the dates by then?
Yeah,
You'll suggest some dates for
Yes.
me? Okay,
so you'll have to figure out the amount of violation.
To
right,
nominate somebody, that can be done at the next meeting, so. To nominate, they're gonna nominate Levesque anyway, you know that, so that can be done immediately. As far as submitting a restoration plan. We give them a month to do that,
I think so, that should be ample time.
give them a month to do that,
Mhm.
and to implement it, it's gonna be the
They're
spring.
gonna do it, yeah, they're gonna be doing it in
Right.
the spring anyway, so.
So set some tentative dates, cause they're always gonna be moved around if we need to. And at the next meeting, we can ratify it right there if you want.
yeah, they give us the square footage, like you said, that's all we need to
Mhm.
finish the enforcement order. Okey dokey,
All righty,
okay.
we'll move on to the update of the landowner wants to donate 13 Berkshire Ave to Conservation Commission.
So no real updates right there. I found out I need an actual written statement from the landowner for town council.
Okay,
So I need to contact him and, get
Is
a
that,
statement.
the one on College Highway, the Vivian Joe and
No,
Trellis?
oh,
one?
no, this is the 13
Oh,
Berkshire.
this is Berkshire.
This is 13 Berkshire Ave, so, I'm not sure how public, this information should be. But somebody
There it
came
is.
into the office, not last week, but the week before, saying that they wanted to donate some land, in their will. And I had suggested, they, under the condition that the property would be no touch. So, I had suggested that maybe Franklin Land Trust would be interested in that gift. And she had since contacted Franklin Land Trust and Franklin Land Trust said yes.
Mhm.
So some 67 acres, plus or minus. is
Good
gonna
move,
be-
yep.
Gonna be protected
Sounds
for,
good.
excellent.
Yep.
All right, and Norm does have up his
Yes.
OPP update.
Yes, the contract that we have with Suffield expires at the end of 2023. So knowing that, I was working on preparing, getting the data. And about 3 months ago, I told Doug Mogul, who negotiated the last contract, that I was working on this project. And he said, well, when you're done, let me know. And I'll either go to lake management meeting or I'll go to the conservation meeting and I'll hear the presentation. Well, because the select board usually meets on our night and meetings usually last longer than ours. On the 26th of October, he did come to the lake management meeting. And this is the presentation that everybody there saw. I assumed that some of that will be presenting this to probably the select people, select board, of Suffield, they may have some knowledge of the lake,
Mhm.
some may not, so I've given a little bit of history here that tells how we're wrapped in with the DEP, Mass DEP. And the whole purpose of the LPP program is to allow a simplified process to register your boats and docks and floats, and moorings. Okay? And all structures on or above the water must have a sketch that's on file with the Southwood Conservation Commission. Okay? Now, no dock shall be closer than 25 feet to the extended property lines. But if there's not enough land ownership that allows 25 feet, there are regulations to allow docks in most cases. Okay, not all, but most. Except for normal maintenance and repairs, the physical structure shall not be altered. Okay, any changes have to come back to the Southwood Conservation Commission.
They should be reapplied every year anyway, so I mean,
Yep. The owner of each powered vessel moored at the dock or mooring Congamon Lakes must affix a annual sticker that's purchased from the Conservation Commission. Okay. All fees collected under the LPP program are exclusively used for dock inspections and local enforcement patrols of waterways and related issues. And the LPP agreement with Mass DEP does authorize the town of Southwick to issue fines for dock violations and unstickered mooring boats. The fees and fines are regulated by the state. Okay. Here's a little interesting facts that the select board from Suffield might be interested in is Congamon Lakes is 477 acres, North Pond's 47, Middle Pond 284, South Pond 146, maximum depth is 46.
Where's that maximum depth, which pond is that in?
That's in Middle Pond,
Middle pond?
yeah. The waterfront footage is split approximately 60-40 Mass to Connecticut. And the homes on the lake are also split approximately 60-40 Massachusetts to Connecticut. And from 1642 to 1801, Mass and Connecticut argued about who owned the notch/jog. If you were in Connecticut, you call it the notch. If you're in Massachusetts, you call it the jog. And after 159 years, the two states came to an agreement that stands today in 1801. And that decision was made that the ownership of the lake belongs to Massachusetts.
You wanna hear something funny?
Yes.
I was on the rail trail and they had a sign like basically saying like welcome to Mass or something. And there's a sticker that says take back the jog. I was like, sure, take it, you guys, whatever.
Hope we took that sticker off of there.
It's still up there, it was up too high.
Yeah.
So again, this is part of the education process for the selectmen there. There are 4 Southwick committees, commissions that have responsibilities to do with the lake. Lake management is responsible for lake safety, water quality, and management of boat launches, parking, and fishing pier. LMC also monitors clear blockages of the canal leaving the lake. Interesting note, LMC has 11 members, 5 of them are residents of Connecticut, and 4 of the 5 are actually residents of Suffield, so that's a plus. Conservation Commission is the enforcement arm and the administrator of the LPP program, and Concom monitors and enforces the Wetlands Protection Act on all Massachusetts lake buffer zones, plus the immediate Connecticut shoreline from the water out. Okay. And the harbor master, who is our police chief, has responsibility for lake safety, vessel operation, enforces state and local laws, and works with Concom and on LPP enforcement issues. And then the 4th one is the Southwood Board of Health, which has responsibility to monitor public swimming areas for E. coli measurement. Okay, this is the top part of a form for the Massachusetts residents that they have to fill out. Connecticut has to fill one out as well, except there are no fees on the Connecticut line, okay?
Connecticut is paying for the fees for,
They're
the
paying.
town paying for the
Yeah,
residents' fees.
yeah, you'll see that in a
Is that
minute.
nice of them?
Yeah. So we have $20 for docks, all lifts are free, moorings are 10, swim floats are 10, and buoys are 10. And then the boats, powered vessels, I should say, fall into three categories. If you're a lakefront owner, you pay $10 a boat. If you're a renter or a member of the associations throughout the lake, $40. And if you're not resident, but you moor you're on a friend's dock or something like that, or a relative's dock, you pay $40. That information we'll use again shortly. Okay, and the bottom half, is other pertinent information, but this is looking at the finances only. Okay, so here's the sticker income for 2023. Okay, and this is all this is coming from Gene's massive spreadsheet, okay? So there were a total of 669 stickers issued in Massachusetts and 276 stickers in Connecticut, for a total of 945, and this is the categories that they were issued on. Okay, so then you multiply each of the categories times the fees. Okay, and you can see that Massachusetts, we collected $13,590. Okay, stickers were issued for Connecticut, but the fees are zero. But the last year, the contract down here in the corner, you can see Suffield paid $2,800. Okay, so total collections was $16,390 for the sticker program. Here's the other piece of information we're gonna use to figure out the financial liabilities of the two communities. Since 1993, the Lake Management has inventoried all of the motorized vehicles on the lake. And you can see on here, we've got 1993, 2003, 2013, and 2023. I didn't want to give you every year, but just to give you a sampling. What's interesting to note, look at powered vessels in 1993 was 584. And in this past year, it's only 594. So the number of powered boats on the lake has only grown by 10. Is any the mix is significantly different. Motorboats went from 448 to 195. Pontoons went from 59 to 326. Okay, all right. So,
Priorities have
of
changed.
course, the boats now are much larger and the
Yeah.
engines are much larger, but powered vessels remain basically the same in total. Okay, they didn't start, Lake Management didn't start, inventorying the docks, swim floats and moorings until 2006. That's why you've got some NAs here. But then you can see we have that. So then for each year they do the inventory, Lake Management also breaks it out by state. Okay, so we know how many docks were actually counted in Massachusetts and in Connecticut. Okay, and the total number of boats. Okay, and you can see this is the inventory from this year. Now it's, the difficulty now becomes, this Lake Management only inventories the number of boats. Doesn't inventory the number of $40 boats, $20 boats, $10. Right, so now we're gonna try to tie the two together, okay? All right, so top half of this one is straight from Gene's database, okay? And this is what the accumulation of all the forms that came in stated that, for instance, in Connecticut, there were 99 docks that were stickered, okay, 97 homeowner boats, $40 boats, 4 association boats, 16 homeowner, 16 rental boats, rental property boats. These are the $40 boats, okay? So you can see there wasn't a lot there. So down here, I tried to break out the percentages from the forms. In Massachusetts, the $10 boat was 48.8% of the time. Connecticut was 82.9%. So it tells me, number one, Massachusetts has the marinas in there, so it's gonna be higher to begin with, because those are all $40 boats. But I also believe that, owners may not have been totally truthful, saying it was their boat and not a friend's boat. So anyways, so I'm gonna, I didn't use these percentage, I'm using the average. So going forward, I'm gonna use the average to try to take, the $40 boats and the $10 boats and the $20 boats. So to figure out the estimated lost revenue for Massachusetts, it's pretty easy. You just take the boat inventory minus the LPP inventory. Okay, and for Connecticut, it's the total inventory. Okay, minus what Suffield paid. Okay. So then we're gonna use those percentages that I had from the page report. So I'm breaking the inventories down into each boat size. So it comes down here, it says, Massachusetts, we collected all but $390 we should have. Now, the reason why, 2 years ago in 22, we did pictures of every dock and every boat on the Massachusetts water line, not Connecticut. Okay, and that helped us get the
Participation.
get it up there. You can see in, Connecticut, even with a $2,800 payment, we were short $4,180. So we didn't collect $4,570. Again, this is estimated, okay, all right? So Doug wanted me to show how we progressed in the payments from Connecticut. And again, the contract went from 2020 to 2023. So in 2019, we did 1730. You can see each year we improved. Okay, but now it's time to, what are we gonna do for the future? Okay. Now, if you took the revenues from both states on the same chart, the dark blue line is Massachusetts, the green line is Connecticut, and the light blue line is total. So you can see brought in most of the income. So I then tried to figure out the percent error for structures and estimated revenue. So based upon the stickers versus what was counted, Massachusetts only had 1.5% error for all structures and vessels. Connecticut had a 27.9% error rate for a combined 10.9. But if you look at the revenue, it should have been generated. Massachusetts had 2.8% error and Connecticut had a 59.9% error for a total of 21.8. Okay, so we've got quite a discrepancy on the error side. So there are a number of things that we can do, and I came up with 5 myself. I came up with 4, and then at the meeting that they recommended the 5th. Well, we could do a higher annual income payment from Suffield plus sticker enforcement from Suffield. Or we could do higher annual income from Suffield plus sticker enforcement from Southwick. We could revert sticker payment back to the shoreline homeowners. Southwick collects the funds and Southwick does the sticker enforcement. Or we could revert back to payment to shoreline homeowners. Southwick collects the funds and Suffield does the enforcement. And then at the meeting, they came up with a 5th alternative. Take Suffield out of the LPP program and let them get chapter 91 licenses. Okay, there's obviously an alternative I hadn't thought of. But we have a commitment to the state to improve our sticker and revenue statistics. And so Doug was impressed with this. He wants to proceed. He's right now, though, the elections are over in Suffield for select board. We can now adjust this, however you want to adjust it if you want, but then he and I are gonna go for sure. I don't know who else is gonna.
Looks like you have some good data there,
Yeah.
Norm, to bolster your argument.
A lot of good information there.
Yeah. Well, we're done it without Gene's data.
Yeah.
So, That's it, any questions?
Well, we gotta keep in mind, when was the LPP, and when did we start doing that in Massachusetts? Which year was that?
2011, I believe it was.
And we started in Connecticut in 2019. Is that what,
No, the data wasn't available before 2019.
well, but we didn't actually start working with Connecticut till much later in the process. And it took a while for us to get that good in Massachusetts, so we're doing pretty good, I think, as far
Yeah.
as making progress in Connecticut.
So I think the right thing to do is to take pictures of the shoreline in Connecticut. I don't know how good the select board from Suffield.
Talk to them about that first, yeah, that would be a good idea.
But that's the process that worked the best for us in Massachusetts.
But Norm, we took note that Sabrina is spending a lot of time on LPP.
Yeah,
And you took note, we all took note that Sabrina doesn't really have enough time
right.
just for conservation. I'm suggesting that she keep track of her hours that she works in LPP and take that out of the fund that we collect the funds for. I mean, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
We paid part of Gene's salary on.
Part of Gene's salary comes out of it, now it'd be the same thing, keep track of the hours.
Also, we have to change the contract with the state though. I mean, it makes sense to me.
Look into it, but
Yeah.
it's gonna even be more work for her with this coming up like
Yeah.
that, so. I think it'd be a good idea for her to keep her hours because we all know, I especially know that she doesn't have enough hours just to do conservation, never mind local permitting, so. If we could look into that and give
It's a great
her
idea.
supplementary income, that would, I
Mhm.
think would help everybody. And I think that's what the money's meant for anyway, I mean.
Right. Yeah.
I have a question. You had the, data from, was it 1993 up to 2023
Yeah.
on like the amount of vessels and the
Yes.
types of vessels?
Yes,
How did, Lake Management, how did they actually count them? Did they go around the shoreline and count
Yes.
them, or?
we split the three basins up. And the crew goes out and does basically on the same day,
You count them?
counts everything.
And so that's just the boats that are docked on the lake, not the ones that visit the lake for a day.
That is correct. And if there's a boat out in the water, it doesn't get counted.
Right.
We only count the
So you
shore.
go on quiet days then, right?
Before 10 o'clock.
And I think I did mention this, via email, because I know, the Lake Management Committee was talking about, like, there needs to be more enforcement. And the thing that really helped last year was having all of those photographs of all the docks and the vessels
Yeah.
and knowing which ones were and weren't, given an annual, permit. Otherwise, we're kind of blind, so I don't know if anyone plans on doing that next year, or if you guys want to arrange for me to somehow get out there.
If you could get
Do
an
it.
intern to.
If we can we will have, an intern in the spring. Lucas Karen is coming
That's
in,
how we did
but
it last time, right?
that was me, I did it, with a little GPS thing and everything,
So
yeah.
I'm all for taking the photos. The harbor master recommended that we do it on the police vessel with the police.
That makes sense,
That's a
yeah,
good
so you're
idea.
not
It's
scaring
a good
anybody.
idea.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think that will really help with, enforcement and having us get the letters out to the correct people. And just knowing what's out there. Yeah.
All right,
Nice job, Norm. That's
Yeah.
a
a lot of work.
lot of good work there.
Okay. I think we're through our agenda. Anybody have anything else they want to bring up? For old business?
Something to start considering is our budget.
Budget.
So,
February coming soon.
yeah, I know it's kind of, I didn't know we had to do a budget last year, and I was just kind of like, took me by surprise. I'm like, what? I was supposed to be planning for this?
Try to see if you can find a liaison for the finance committee, because that's the hardest part, to try to talk to them.
Yeah, last year was Dave, and he did a great job.
And the liaison from the finance
No.
committee.
Oh, what do you mean?
to talk to before we go to the finance committee, so we
Ah.
can have some discussion. They assign a liaison to every committee
Oh,
for that, so we can have some, hopefully have some discussion before, and you're not blindsided when you
Yeah.
get there.
yeah,
Find out who our liaison from the finance committee is and see if we can set up a meeting.
We'll get together and talk about our needs and.
and all of that.
Yeah.
When's our next meeting?
So our next meeting is not December 5th, like on the agenda. That's a Sunday. No one's gonna be here.
No,
December 4th.
Fourth?
Sorry.
If you caught that.
Mhm.
I know, right?
We'd all be at town meeting.
That's right. Okay, I'll take a motion if anybody's ready.
Motion to adjourn?
Thank you, Jerry.
Second.
Thank you, Norm. Kevin?
Aye.
Dennis?
I.
Andy?
Aye.
Chris, aye. Good night, everyone.